Hello and welcome to Stanhover Model Railway. My name is Mark. I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to spend on my own layout, Stanhover Model Railway, due to some medical problem appointments and normal life stuff basically going on. So I thought that as I was visiting my mum's house, that I would show you my late father's layout. Unfortunately, my dad passed away of cancer in 2018, and he's left his layout, or as he used to call it, his glorified train set, to myself and my brother. And I thought, while I had the chance and the opportunity, I thought I'd quickly show you it. It's in a double garage, so it's obviously quite large. There's actually 3 levels to it. 2 are running levels, and the 3rd level is for storage of all the stock. So anyway, here we go. I'll show you around the layout, and I hope you enjoy the tour. Right, so I'll start on the upper level. Dad didn't actually base his layout on any particular area as such. The original layout, when he started off, when he was younger, was actually LMS based, but over time and when he grew his collection, but when we moved, when I was a lot younger, and acquired the current house that obviously my mum now lives in, and what was my mum and dad's, he had the opportunity to expand it into the double garage, as I said earlier. So we've actually ended up having all four of the grouping companies, and we've got some BR locos as well. So it's quite an extensive collection. Most of the buildings cardboard super quick kits that my dad built himself, although there is some resin buildings in here as well, both Hornby and Bachmann Scenecraft ones. And yeah, there's even some scratch built ones as well. If I pan around to here, the coaling stage over here on what was the former LMS section is actually a scratch built by my late granddad. It's actually got a loco under there at the moment. I think, if I remember rightly, that's a Duchess, but don't quote me on that because I could have got that wrong, because my recognition's gone. Loco recognition's gone out my head at the moment. The engine shed again, that is a scratch built one. And if we slowly pan around to there, you can see there's a resin water tower over there. I think that's a Hornby one. The engine shed there is a super quick one, and again that part of the engine shed is a scratch built one. So if we look over the back as well, there is there is a couple of scratch built buildings in there, I think. But the mainly super quick kits, the Carlisle Carpentry side, see one over there, that's a scratch built one. I think most of the rest, looking along, old super quick kits. I'll show you those. Okay. Right. So going back to the former LMS area, as you can see, over time we built up quite a collection of locomotives and rolling stock. I did help contribute when I could to the cost of obviously buying them all, and so did my brother. That's as you can see, we've got some GWI locos there. If you quite a few there. And we'll go around. That's the LMS. All this is LMS. So there is some scenery there as well. I think the building's mainly kit built, although the wall's obviously scratch built. And we'll go around and say this is the LMS section. It's all a DC operated layout, hence why if you look there, there's a load of isolators for the engine shed, because it's all DC operated. And over the years, obviously it was going to cost too much to change it to DCC, and it wasn't obviously for that when Dan first started, so it was obviously a lot easier to keep it as DC. Unfortunately, although he's numbered the isolators, it's a job to remember which ones are for which, although he has helpfully put some numbers on the engine shed, so although that's not prototypical or anything, it was to help us, and I'll show you on that one as well, to identify the roads and what isolators would be there. Some roads, as you can see, they've got more than one engine on, so you've got to count along. We do remember it, we do get it right most of the time, but sometimes we get it wrong. I'll just squeeze around to here. So this is the goods yard, and as you can see, there's quite an extensive collection of wagons in there. I think you've got all four of the grouping companies in here, Wagon Wise, and some a lot of private owners, and you've got some BR wagons over the back there as well. Let's get along to here. Here we can see, let's turn around, this is my dad's scratch built goods shed. You can see it's rather large, but he didn't do too bad a job. You'll have to excuse bits and pieces about. Unfortunately, this is from left because towards the end of my dad's life, unfortunately he just couldn't get down here. He didn't have the strength to do it, so everything got left. Me and my brother run the odd bits of rolling stock on the layout when we can, when we have the time, but we just haven't had the time to tidy up a bit, and it's kind of effort was, and it's still a bit hard to do that even now after this time. I'll squeeze around here. This is the farmhouse. So excuse the loco cruise and about. Now, if I remember right, I can't remember if my dad or my granddad built this. I think it was my granddad. It's quite a nice model, and it's scratch built. I think it's done quite well, and it fits in not quite nicely with the area. We'll carry on look at that. Going scratch built road bridge over there. The vehicle, I think the fairground, I'm not sure who made that. It's one of the well-known brands, so it's probably a Corgi or an EFE or something like that. Again, I can't remember off the top of my head. And there's some scenery in the background there, so it's a forest. And if you give me a second, I'll take you over so you can continue the tour. Right, so carrying on from where I've just left off, and say that's the fairground ride, and a couple of showman's engines there. And you've got the road bridge, we ring round again. I think it might be a super quick building here, but most of these buildings, if I'm right, were scratch built either by my dad or my granddad. I think most of them are actually built by my granddad. I'll quickly take it on there. The engine shed there, that is actually, if I remember, a Dapol kit, or Dapol, however you pronounce it, built, plastic kit built and painted by my dad. Okay, and I'll give me a second and I'll just move you along. Carry on. The track you can see here, they'd actually done as a branch line, obviously to run, so we could run as much as we could, or we could run as much as we could. It's a resin water tower there, by the way. Again, it's a made-up name. It's actually, this station is actually called Cartwright, which is named after where my mum's sister used to live in Australia. It all bear no resemblance to any stations in that area, and I think there wasn't actually a station in Cartwright anyway. I think the nearest station is actually Liverpool, and that's in New South Wales in Australia. Sort of, I think if I remember right, southwest of Sydney. Take it on, as you can see, we go along, and then we're back to the road bridge again and the engine shed. Right, so I'll quickly show you the bottom level if you give me a second. So this is actually not, well, the bottom level of the working level, really it's the middle level, because obviously below that there's another level, but that's mainly for storage of stock. This is an LNER base. This was actually after Dad built the top section. As we were starting to get carried away with stock, we actually built this. Originally, Dad built it as a branch down to a lower level, but at the time I had a sudden fascination. After long, I had a sudden fascination with LNER locomotives, so we turned it into the LNER section, and we expanded it a bit. So as you can see, it's quite a nice long station. Again, the name down there doesn't actually mean anything. It's just a made up name what my dad chose. If we move along, so Dad's got all the figures and benches. There's a little figure there, what my this one here with a balloon, that's actually a little figure. I can't remember where it was got from, but I know they'd got my brother's fiance to paint it up for him, and she's done a very good job. It's been here for a while, so it's meant to kind of be a little representation of with Dad in the younger days, if you like. Obviously it doesn't actually look like him, but it's just a, so he's here sort of thing, and a nice little reminder for us. Let's see, move along a bit, and you got the rest of the station down there. Again, there's two bay platforms at either end, so you got the one down that end there where the Great Western tank is and the auto coaches, and if we come back up, we say we've got this one here with Great Western Auto tank and two locomotives. They both run up to the bay platform in the top level. And obviously, as you can see, I'll come back a bit, we've got quite an extensive goods yards with lots of wagons again. I think this is where I get my wagon fetish from at the moment. Okay, it's getting super quick goods shed down there, and super quick engine shed over here. Go back on the turntable. That's a back from Scencraft water tower, and the coaling stage is going built by my granddad. Just built out of card. And we'll go along and say that's the other part of the goods yard. Right, I'm going to do a small bit of running for you now. I hope, it won't be much running because there's not a lot of stock set up ready to run, and it's not easy to operate all the tracks on your own. So I'll just give you a quick couple of runs around of the LNER stock we've got out at the moment. Right, okay, I hope you enjoyed that little short running section. Apologies for it being so short. As I said earlier, unfortunately when you're on your own it's very difficult to run everything, especially if you're trying to film it at the same time. But anyway, I do hope you did enjoy that. Take care everyone, and please don't forget to comment, like and subscribe to my channel. Hopefully there will be a video out on Stanova very shortly once I've actually got a chance to do some more work on the layouts. But in the meantime, as I say, take care people. Best wishes to you all, and as I say, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Your comments are much appreciated, and it would be nice to know if you're enjoying the videos in general or and my channel, and also what you might like or to see in future videos. Okay, take care again everyone. Bye for now.